The call came at 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I remember because I was staring at my computer screen, reviewing fertility clinic payment plans for the 1,000th time. My phone lit up with my mother's name, and for a moment I considered letting it go to voicemail. I'm Ingrid, and that call destroyed everything I'd spent 6 years building. Ingrid, thank God you picked up. My mother's voice cracked with panic. It's Hazel. She's in the hospital. They're saying she needs emergency surgery right now. My stomach dropped. Despite our differences, Hazel was still my little sister. What happened? Which hospital? St. Mary's. The doctors found some kind of infection. It's spreading fast and the insurance won't cover the procedure. We need help, sweetie, right now. I pressed my palm against my forehead. How much? 30,000. I know it's a lot, but she could die, Ingrid, please. The number hit me like a physical blow. 30,000. My IVF fund. Every extra shift, every overtime hour, every birthday check from relatives, all of it carefully saved for my last chance at motherhood. Mum, that's my... I know what it is. She cut me off, her voice breaking. But this is your sister's life. You can save again. Please, the doctors are waiting for payment confirmation before they'll proceed. My hands were shaking as I pulled up my banking app. 6 years of hoping, of planning, of doctor's appointments telling me my window was closing. All of it about to vanish with a few taps on my phone. Ingrid! My mother's voice grew sharp. Are you there? I'm transferring it now, I said quietly. Send me the account details. After the transfer, I sat in my silent apartment staring at the confirmation screen. My phone buzzed with a text from my mother. Thank you, sweetie. You saved her. We'll keep you updated. I called the fertility clinic to cancel my upcoming consultation. The receptionist's voice was gentle when I explained. I'm so sorry, Ms. Harrison. Should I note this as a temporary postponement? No, I whispered. Just cancel it. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept checking my phone for updates about Hazel's condition, but nothing came. I called the hospital the next morning. I'm calling about my sister, Hazel Harrison. She was admitted yesterday for emergency surgery. There was a pause. I'm sorry, we have no record of a patient by that name in the last 48 hours. That's impossible. St. Mary's, right? Emergency surgery for an infection? No one by that name, ma'am. Are you sure it was this hospital? I hung up and called 3 other nearby hospitals. Same response. My hands were trembling as I opened Instagram, searching for Hazel's profile. Her last post was from 8 hours ago, a mimosa brunch photo with her friends. She looked perfectly healthy, laughing in designer sunglasses. I scrolled back through her feed. 2 weeks ago, she posted poolside photos from the Four Seasons spa. Sometimes you just need to treat yourself now. Self-care. Spa day. Yeah, I'm blessed. The dates aligned perfectly with when my money had disappeared. I called my mother again, straight to voicemail. I texted. Tried calling St. Mary's. They have no record of Hazel. Want to explain? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Finally. Call me later, sweetie. There's been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. $30,000 of misunderstanding. I opened my bottom desk drawer and pulled out the folder of fertility paperwork I'd collected over the years. The latest doctor's note was clear. Given patient's age and condition, recommend beginning IVF treatment within next 6 to 8 months for optimal chances of success. My phone buzzed again. A text from Hazel. Hey sis! Mum said you helped me out of a tight spot. You're literally a lifesaver. Dinner soon? My treat. I stared at those cheerful emojis until my vision blurred. 6 years of saving, of hoping, of planning for my future, gone in a single afternoon of lies. My sister was at a spa while I cancelled my last chance at becoming a mother. That's when something inside me shifted. Something hard and cold settled into place where my heart used to be. I opened my laptop and started a new document. At the top, I typed, evidence of fraud. If they wanted to play games with my life savings, fine. But I was done being the quiet, understanding sister. Done being the responsible one who sacrificed everything while Hazel took and took and took. I was going to find out exactly what happened to my money. And then I was going to make sure everyone knew exactly what kind of people my family really were. My phone buzzed again. Mum. Family dinner on Sunday. We need to talk. Yes, I thought. We certainly do. I hadn't planned to find the bank statement. I was just dropping off some old photo albums my mother had asked for, using my emergency key while they were out at their weekly bridge game. The envelope was sitting there on the kitchen counter, torn open, Hazel's name clearly visible through the window. Something made me pause. Maybe it was the casino logo in the corner. My hands trembled as I pulled out the statement. Column after column of withdrawals from Golden Gates Casino and Resort. 25,000 in a single month. The dates lined up perfectly with my emergency transfer. My phone buzzed. Jameson, my oldest friend. Still on for coffee? I snapped a photo of the statement and grabbed my keys. 20 minutes later, I was sitting across from him at our usual cafe, sliding my phone across the table. Look at this! His eyes widened as he scrolled. Jesus, Ingrid, is this what I think it is? My sister's gambling away my IVF fund while my parents cover for her? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Have you confronted them? I wrapped my hands around my coffee cup, seeking warmth. I tried. Mum keeps saying there's more to the story. Dad won't even take my calls. What are you going to do? I'm going to find out everything. I pulled out my laptop. Help me. We spent the next 3 hours digging. Public records, social media, anything we could find. Hazel's Instagram told one story. Designer clothes, luxury vacations, champagne brunches. But her public records painted another. 3 maxed out credit cards, 2 personal loans in default, a pending eviction notice. Look at this, Jameson pointed to his screen. She's been posting about her medical recovery to extended family, complete with fake hospital photos. I leaned in. There was my cousin Julia commenting, So glad you're feeling better. We were all so worried. They're all in on the lie, I whispered. Everyone except me. That night, I drove back to my parents' house. They were home this time, and my mother's face fell when she saw me at the door. Sweetie, now's not a good time. I held up the bank statement. Want to try telling me the truth? She glanced behind her, then stepped onto the porch, closing the door. You don't understand. Hazel's been struggling. With what? A gambling addiction? Or just being a spoiled brat who knows Mommy and Daddy will always bail her out? Lower your voice, she hissed. The neighbours. The neighbours what? Might find out your perfect daughter isn't so perfect? The door opened, and my father stepped out. Ingrid, please, come inside. We can discuss this like adults. Inside, my mother paced while my father sat heavily in his recliner. I remained standing. Where's my money? Gone, my father said quietly. Hazel needed to pay her gambling debts, I know. What I want to know is why you lied. Why the elaborate story about emergency surgery? My mother wrung her hands. We knew you wouldn't understand. You've always been so rigid about money, and Hazel was in real trouble. And I wasn't. That money was my last chance at having a child. Don't be dramatic, my mother snapped. You can always save again. Hazel needed help now. I pulled out my phone and played the voicemail I'd saved. Hazel's voice filled the room. Mum, I swear this is the last time. Just help me figure out how to get the money, and I'll never gamble again. I promise. The timestamp was 3 days before their emergency call to me. My mother's face went white. My father wouldn't meet my eyes. You planned this, I said softly. You knew exactly what you were doing when you called me that day. You knew about her gambling, about the debts, everything. And you decided my future was worth sacrificing to save her. Again. She's your sister, my father pleaded. Not anymore. I walked to the door, then turned back. One more thing. I talked to Julia today, told her everything. She's going to tell the rest of the family what really happened to my money. No more fake hospital photos. No more lies. My mother lunged forward. You can't! Watch me. Outside, my phone buzzed with a text from Hazel. Mum says you're being difficult about the money thing. Can we talk? I typed back. Sure, let's talk about Golden Gates Casino. Or should we discuss those forged medical documents you've been showing the family? 3 dots appeared, disappeared. Then, please don't do this. But I was already doing it. I had nothing left to lose. They'd taken everything else. Now it was my turn to take something. Their carefully constructed facade of the perfect family. My phone buzzed again. Jameson. You okay? No, I replied. But I will be. Want to help me plan something special for Thanksgiving? Tell me about your relationship with your sister, Dr. Morris said, tapping her pen against her notepad. It was my third therapy session, and I was finally ready to dig deeper. Which version? The one where we're the perfect sisters my mother pretends we are, or the truth? Let's start with the truth. I shifted in the leather chair. 2 days ago, Hazel showed up at my apartment crying, mascara running, the whole show. She does this thing where she makes herself shake, like she's about to fall apart. And how did that make you feel? Nothing. I felt nothing. I smiled, remembering. That's new for me. The session helped, but what really kept me going was my plan. Small steps, carefully chosen. First, I'd messaged Skylar, Hazel's former best friend, with proof of the gambling debts. Thought you should know why she borrowed money from you last year and never paid it back. Skylar's response was immediate. That bitch told me her mum had cancer. The dominoes were falling, one by one. Later that evening, Jameson came over with takeout. He'd been checking in more often since everything happened, and I found myself looking forward to his visits. Your sister called me today, he said, passing me a container of pad thai. I froze. What? Wanted to know if I could talk some sense into you. I told her to lose my number. You didn't have to do that. He looked at me seriously. Yes, I did. What they did to you, it's unforgivable. My phone buzzed. Mother. Hazel's really struggling with what you've been saying about her. Please stop this vendetta. I showed Jameson the text. See what I mean? I'm always the villain in their story. Then write your own story, he said simply. The next day, I ran into Hazel at the grocery store. She was wearing oversized sunglasses, probably to hide her hangover. Ingrid! She rushed over, grabbing my arm. Please, can we talk? I've been trying to reach you. I looked down at her hand until she let go. Okay, talk. Not here. She glanced around nervously. Coffee? 20 minutes later, we sat in a corner booth. Hazel stirred her latte endlessly, not drinking it. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know what I did was wrong, but I was desperate. The casino guys were threatening to tell Mom and Dad everything. So you let them steal my money instead. They didn't steal. You took my IVF fund under false pretenses. That's theft, Hazel, and fraud, given the fake medical documents you created. She paled. How did you... I found everything. The forged hospital papers, the fake photos, the rehearsed calls with Mum planning how to convince me, everything. I'll pay you back, she promised quickly. I just need some time. I laughed, the sound harsh even to my ears. With what money? The new credit card you just opened in Mum's name. Her cup clattered against the saucer. How did you... I have access to everything now, Hazel. Every lie, every scheme, every person you've manipulated. Did you really think I'd just let this go? What do you want from me? Her voice cracked. Nothing. I don't want anything from you ever again. I just wanted you to know that your comfortable little world of lies is about to collapse. Please, she grabbed my hand. I'll get help. Real help this time. Just don't tell everyone. You'll destroy the family. I pulled my hand away. The family was destroyed the moment you and Mom decided my future was worth sacrificing for your gambling debts. That evening, my mother called 6 times. I let each call go to voicemail, then played them for Jameson when he came over. Ingrid, please call me back. Your sister is very upset. Ingrid, this has to stop. Ingrid, why are you being so cruel? Jameson shook his head. They really don't get it, do they? They never will. I showed him my laptop screen. But look what I found. Hazel's been running this scam for years. 3 other relatives, all given different sob stories, all paid out thousands. What are you going to do with that information? I smiled. Save it for Thanksgiving. Mum's already started calling everyone, insisting we all need to be there this year. For healing, she says. Are you sure about this? He looked concerned. Once you do this, there's no going back. There's already no going back. They made sure of that when they stole my future. I closed my laptop. Besides, the truth was always going to come out eventually. I'm just making sure it happens on my terms. My phone buzzed again. Dad this time. Your mother's worried sick. Please stop whatever you're planning. I turned off my phone and looked at Jameson. Want to help me prepare a very special Thanksgiving presentation? He smiled. I thought you'd never ask. The Thanksgiving invitation arrived by mail, handwritten on expensive cream paper. My mother's perfect cursive spelled out her desperation. Family means forgiveness. Please come home for healing. I called Jameson immediately. It's happening. She's invited the whole family. You sure you want to do this? It's going to be nuclear. Already borrowed the projector from work. I paused. You'll still come with me, right? Wouldn't miss it. Someone needs to film the aftermath for Reddit. I laughed, but it died quickly when my phone buzzed. Hazel. Mom says you're coming to Thanksgiving. I knew you'd forgive me. I didn't respond. Let them think they won. Let them believe I'd fallen back in line like always. The next morning, my mother called while I was at work. Sweetie, I'm so glad you're coming. And listen, I've been thinking, Hazel's still having a hard time. Maybe you could help her with just a small loan. Stop right there, I cut her off. You're seriously asking me for more money? Not asking, just suggesting. She's your sister, and family helps family. Like you helped me by stealing my IVF fund. Silence then. That's not fair. We had no choice. There's always a choice, Mom. You just made the wrong one. After hanging up, I called Julia, my cousin. Are you going to Thanksgiving? Wouldn't miss it, especially after what you told me about Hazel's medical emergency. Did you know she pulled the same scam on Uncle Robert last year? Different story, same result. How much? 15,000. Said she needed surgery for endometriosis. I added it to my growing file of evidence. The pattern was clear. Hazel targeted family members, created elaborate medical emergencies, and my parents helped sell the lies. That evening, Jameson came over with dinner and disturbing news. I found something, he said, pulling out his laptop. Remember when Hazel claimed she had those medical documents? Look at this. He showed me a website selling blank hospital forms. In Hazel's browser history, multiple purchases. She didn't just lie, I whispered. She committed actual fraud. There's more. He opened another tab. She's been doing this to friends too. Remember Skylar? Found 3 others who loaned her money for various emergencies. My phone buzzed. Dad. Your mother's planning the seating chart. Says you're bringing a friend. Yes, I texted back. Jameson's coming. Maybe we should talk before Thursday, clear the air. I showed Jameson the text. They're getting nervous. They should be. What you have here, it's not just family drama, it's criminal. I closed his laptop. That's exactly why it needs to come out. They're not going to stop otherwise. The next day, my mother showed up at my office unannounced. We need to talk, she said, sitting down without waiting for an invitation. I'm working. This is more important. Whatever you're planning for Thanksgiving, please don't. Think of your sister's reputation. I looked up from my computer. Like you thought about my future? That's different. You can always try again for a baby later. No, I can't. I pulled out my latest medical report. My doctor says the delay means my chances are now less than 5%. But you didn't bother to ask about that, did you? She pushed the paper away. Hazel needed help. Hazel needed consequences. Instead, you helped her steal from me, lie to everyone, and now you're here trying to protect her again. Because she's fragile. You've always been the strong one. Get out. Ingrid, get out. After she left, I called Jameson. They know something's coming. Mum just tried to stop me. Having second thoughts? I thought about my empty savings account. About the doctor's face when I cancelled my IVF appointment. About years of watching Hazel take and take, while I was expected to give and give. No second thoughts. Just make sure your phone is charged for Thursday. This is going to be a Thanksgiving they'll never forget. My phone lit up with a text from Hazel. Can't wait to see you Thursday. I have a surprise for you. I smiled grimly. Oh, sister. So do I. That night, I finished organising my evidence into a perfect digital presentation. Bank statements, forged documents, social media lies, voice recordings, all of it arranged for maximum impact. Let them think I was coming to make peace. Let them believe their perfect family facade would stay intact. Thursday couldn't come soon enough. Thanksgiving morning dawned cold and grey, perfect weather for burning bridges. I checked my bag one last time. Laptop, projector, backup drive, and printed copies of everything, just in case. Ready? Jameson asked from my doorway. Almost. I pulled out my phone and checked my latest messages. Mum, made your favourite apple pie. Everyone's so excited to see you, Hazel. Wearing my cutest outfit to celebrate family healing. Julia, I'm here early. You won't believe who else Hazel scammed. I grabbed my coat. Let's go destroy a family gathering. The drive to my parents' house was tense. Holiday traffic gave me too much time to think, but Jameson kept me focused. Run through the plan again, he said. Wait until after the main course. People are always more dramatic on full stomachs. Start with the bank statements. Build to the forged documents. End with the voice recordings. Then walk out while everything burns. We pulled up to the house at exactly 2 p.m. Cars lined the street. Seemed like the whole family had shown up for the show. They just didn't know it yet. My mother opened the door before we could knock. Ingrid! And Jameson, so lovely to see you both. Her smile was too bright, too forced. Inside, the house smelled like turkey and tension. Hazel was holding court in the living room, surrounded by aunts and cousins. She jumped up when she saw me. Sis! You came! She moved to hug me, but stopped when I stepped back. Wouldn't miss it, I said, patting my bag. Julia appeared at my elbow. Need help setting up anything? She whispered. After dinner. Keep Hazel drinking. She's always sloppier with her lies when she's tipsy. The next hour was excruciating. Relatives kept trying to orchestrate healing moments between Hazel and me. Uncle Robert, still unaware she'd scammed him too, kept saying how nice it was to see the sisters together again. My father caught me in the hallway. Whatever you're planning, please don't. Your mother's heart can't take it. Funny how her heart never had trouble taking my money. Dinner was served at 3:30. 16 people around the extended dining table, all passing dishes and making small talk. Hazel dominated the conversation, telling some story about her latest charity work. The irony was thick enough to choke on. My phone buzzed under the table. Jameson. Projector's ready in the living room. Just say when. Mum stood up, tapping her glass. Before dessert, I want to say how thankful I am to have everyone here, especially my girls. Family forgiveness is so important. Speaking of forgiveness, I cut in, standing up. I have something to share with everyone. In the living room. My mother's face went pale. Ingrid, please. It'll just take a few minutes, I smiled. Hazel, you'll want to be there for this. The family shuffled into the living room, curious and unsuspecting. Hazel perched on the armrest of the sofa, wine glass in hand. My mother kept trying to catch my eye, but I focused on connecting my laptop. The first slide appeared on the wall, a bank statement showing my IVF fund transfer. So, I said, my voice steady, let me tell you a story about family, forgiveness, and fraud. Stop this right now. My mother stood up. Sit down, Mum. Everyone needs to hear this, especially Uncle Robert. Don't you want to know what really happened to your $15,000? The room went silent. Hazel's wine glass slipped from her hand, staining the carpet red. You see, I continued, clicking to the next slide, my sister has been running quite the operation. Different stories for different relatives. Sometimes it's emergency surgery. Sometimes it's cancer treatments. Always urgent, always requiring immediate cash. Julia stood up. She told me she needed money for life-saving antibiotics. She told me it was for emergency dental surgery. Another cousin added. Hazel started to cry. Right on schedule. But here's the best part. I clicked again, showing the casino statements. Want to guess where all that money really went? This is private family business, my mother shouted. No, Mum, fraud isn't private. Neither is theft. Neither is forgery. Right, Hazel? Should we show everyone the fake hospital documents you bought online? The room erupted. Relatives jumping up, pointing fingers, demanding explanations. My father slumped in his chair, looking ancient. Hazel ran for the bathroom. My phone buzzed again. Jameson. Time for the recordings? But before I could respond, my mother screamed, I'm calling the police! Go ahead, I said calmly. I have copies of everything, including the new credit card Hazel opened in your name last week. Should we talk about identity theft too? The silence that followed was deafening. I looked around the room, at all the shocked faces, the dawning understanding, years of lies unravelling in minutes, and we hadn't even gotten to dessert yet. Play the recordings, I said to Jameson. The room was still reeling from the last revelation, but I wasn't done, not even close. He pressed play, and my mother's voice filled the room. Of course we'll get the money from Ingrid. She's been saving forever. She can start over. Hazel needs this now. Hazel's voice followed. But what if she checks the hospital? Mum. She won't. She trusts us. That's why this will work. My mother lunged for the laptop. Turn it off. Sit down, Julia snapped, blocking her path. We all need to hear this. The recordings continued. Call after call, plotting how to convince me, rehearsing their emergency story, laughing about how I'd always been a soft touch when it comes to family. Uncle Robert stood up, his face red. You told me you needed emergency surgery for a brain tumour. I took out a second mortgage. I can explain. Hazel emerged from the bathroom, mascara streaked down her face. I was desperate. You were gambling. I clicked to the next slide. Here's your player's card history from Golden Gates Casino. Look at those numbers, everyone. Recognise any of them? The exact amounts you all loaned her? Aunt Sarah gasped. The money I gave you for your supposed cancer treatment went straight to the blackjack tables, I finished. Along with my IVF fund. Along with Uncle Robert's second mortgage. Along with... Enough! My father shouted, standing up. This ends now. You're right, Dad. It does end now. But first, I clicked again, let's talk about the credit card fraud. The screen showed a credit card application in my mother's name, with Hazel's email address. Want to explain this, Mom? Or should I? Because the credit card company's fraud department was very interested when I called them yesterday. My mother sank into a chair, all colour draining from her face. You didn't. I did. They're launching a full investigation. Apparently, this isn't the first card Hazel's opened in your name. Is it, sister dear? Hazel broke. They were going to break my legs. The casino guys. I owed them so much. Mom knew. She helped me fill out the applications. The room exploded again. Relatives shouting, accusations flying, years of deception unravelling in real time. Julia stood up. I want my money back. All of it. Me too, Uncle Robert growled. There is no money, I said quietly. It's all gone, isn't it, Hazel? She nodded, sobbing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't pay my mortgage, Uncle Robert snapped. My mother tried one last time. Please, everyone. We can work this out as a family. Family? I laughed. Let me show you what family means to you. I pulled up my medical records. See this? My doctor's final report. Because of the delay in treatment, my chances of successful IVF are now practically zero. You didn't just steal my money. You stole my chance to have a child. We didn't know, my father started. You didn't care to know. You never asked. Just like you never asked Uncle Robert if he could afford that second mortgage, or Aunt Sarah if she needed that retirement money you convinced her to give Hazel. Aunt Sarah stood up, grabbing her purse. I'm calling my lawyer tomorrow. No, please, Hazel begged. I'll find a way to pay everyone back. With what? Julia demanded. More stolen money? More lies? I'm getting help, Hazel whispered. I started seeing a therapist. For anxiety, I cut in. Not for gambling. Another lie to add to the pile. My mother suddenly stood up. Everyone out! This is still my house! Actually, I clicked one final time. Is it? Because I found some interesting documents about your mortgage too. Seems like Hazel's been busy there as well. The silence was absolute. My father's voice shook. What did you do, Hazel? But Hazel was already running up the stairs, her sobs echoing through the house. I started packing up my laptop. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. The truth was served instead of dessert, but I hope it was filling enough. You've destroyed this family, my mother whispered. No, Mom. You and Hazel did that. I just turned on the lights so everyone could see what was really happening in the dark. Jameson appeared at my side, car keys in hand. Ready? I looked around the room one last time, at Uncle Robert calling his lawyer, at Aunt Sarah crying in the corner, at my father, aged 10 years in an hour, staring at nothing. Yeah, I said. I'm ready. As we walked out, Julia followed us. That was incredible. Terrible, but incredible. The truth usually is, I replied. Behind us I could hear my mother's wails, the continued shock and anger of relatives, the sound of a family imploding. But for the first time in months I felt light, free. The truth had cost me my family, but they'd cost me something far more precious first. The aftermath hit social media before we even made it back to my apartment. My phone buzzed constantly with notifications as family members shared their versions of what happened. Look at this, Julia texted. Hazel's posting that you doctored all the evidence. I checked Facebook. Sure enough, there was Hazel's desperate attempt at damage control. Heartbroken that my own sister would create such horrible lies about me, the truth will come out. Jameson read it over my shoulder and snorted. The truth already came out. That's what she's really upset about. My phone rang. Uncle Robert. The police are involved now, he said without preamble. Your mother's trying to claim you hacked their accounts or something, but the fraud department already confirmed everything you showed us. How bad is it? Bad? Your father's talking about divorce. Aunt Sarah's lawyer is filing charges tomorrow, and Hazel, well, seems she's done this to more people than we knew. I sat down heavily on my couch. I'm sorry you all got caught up in this. Don't be. We needed to know, he paused. I wish I'd known before I took out that mortgage. After we hung up, Jameson brought me tea and sat close beside me. The warmth of his shoulder against mine was oddly comforting. You okay? He asked softly. No. Yes. I don't know. I checked my phone again. More messages, more family drama unfolding in real time. I didn't expect it to feel like this. Like what? Empty, satisfied, but hollow. My phone buzzed again. A text from my father. Your mother's not well. She's talking about hurting herself. This is on you. I showed Jameson the message. See? They're still trying to manipulate me. What are you going to do? I typed back. If Mum's threatening self-harm, call 911. I'm not playing these games anymore. 10 minutes later, Julia called. You won't believe this. Your mum's fine. She's at Hazel's place right now, helping her pack. Apparently, they're planning to move in together while this blows over. Of course they are. I wasn't even surprised anymore. How's everyone else doing? Uncle Robert's meeting with the bank tomorrow about his mortgage. Aunt Sarah's lawyer is gathering statements from everyone. And I just found out Hazel scammed my friend Maria last year, told her she needed money for her dog's emergency surgery. There was no dog, was there? Nope. After Julia hung up, I curled into Jameson's side, suddenly exhausted. Tell me I did the right thing. You did the right thing. He wrapped an arm around me. They needed to face consequences. Finally. My phone kept buzzing. I turned it off. What happens now? I asked the quiet room. Now? Jameson shifted to face me. Now you rebuild. Without their toxicity weighing you down. A knock at the door made us both jump. I looked through the peephole and saw my father standing there looking older than I'd ever seen him. I opened the door but didn't invite him in. Your mother's leaving me, he said simply. Says I should have protected Hazel better. Should have stopped you somehow. That's not why you're here. He sagged against the doorframe. No. I'm here to say, I'm sorry. I know it's not enough. I know it doesn't fix anything. But I should have been a better father. To both of you. You're right. It doesn't fix anything. I know. He pulled out an envelope. It's not much, but it's everything I have in my personal savings. For another try at IVF, maybe. I looked at the envelope but didn't take it. Keep it. You'll need it for lawyer fees once the fraud charges hit. He nodded slowly, putting the envelope away. I deserve that. Yes, you do. I started to close the door, then paused. Dad? Get yourself a good lawyer, a separate one from Mom and Hazel. You're going to need it. After he left, Jameson pulled me close again. You're incredible, you know that. I'm tired, I corrected him. I'm just tired. My phone buzzed one final time before dying completely. A text from Hazel. I hope you're happy now that you've ruined everyone's lives. I showed it to Jameson and finally laughed. She still doesn't get it, does she? She ruined her own life. I just made sure everyone knew about it. Outside, the November night was settling in, cold and clear. Somewhere across town, my mother was probably still trying to salvage Hazel's reputation. Uncle Robert was probably still calculating his losses. Aunt Sarah was probably still crying. But here, in my apartment, with Jameson's arm around me, and the truth finally out in the open, I felt something I hadn't expected. Peace. Cold, hard-won peace. The fertility clinic's waiting room felt different this time. Maybe because Jameson was beside me, or maybe because I wasn't carrying the weight of my family's lies anymore. Ingrid, the nurse called. Dr. Peters will see you now. In her office, Dr. Peters reviewed my file. Your previous clinic sent over your records. The delay has impacted your chances, but She paused, studying my face. You already know that. I do. I just need to know if there's any chance at all. She leaned forward. A small one. The cost will be higher, the odds lower, but if you're willing to try, I'm willing to help. My phone buzzed. Julia. Court date is set. They're charging Hazel with multiple counts of fraud. Your mum's still defending her. I switched off my phone. I want to try. Walking out of the clinic, Jameson squeezed my hand. You're sure about this? About starting over? Yes. I stopped walking. About you being here for it, only if you're sure. He kissed me softly. I'm sure. My phone rang again when we got home. Skylar, Hazel's former friend. Your sister's telling everyone you forged everything, she said without preamble. But I've been talking to other victims. We found 6 more people she scammed. The police want statements from everyone. How much? Over 200,000 total. Your mum's still claiming you hacked their accounts, but the bank confirmed everything. They're both probably going to be charged. I hung up and found an email from my father's new lawyer requesting a meeting. Delete. Another text from my mother. Your sister's checking into rehab for the anxiety you caused. I hope you're happy with yourself. Jameson read it over my shoulder and snorted. Still can't admit it was for gambling. They never will. I deleted that message too. They'll never admit any of it. In their story, I'll always be the villain who destroyed the family. You didn't destroy anything, he said firmly. You just showed everyone what was already broken. My phone lit up again, Uncle Robert this time. The bank's investigating your mother now too. Found a pattern of suspicious transfers going back years. Did you know about this? I didn't, but I wasn't surprised. That evening, Julia came over with wine and takeout. Aunt Sarah's lawyer thinks Mom could face serious charges. They found evidence she helped Hazel forge documents for years. Not just for the gambling, for everything. School loans, medical records, all of it. I poured more wine. Let me guess, she's still claiming I fabricated everything? Actually, she's changed her story. Now she's saying she only did it to protect Hazel from predatory lenders. She's trying to spin it as a mother's desperate attempt to save her child. And Dad? Filing for divorce. Finally grew a spine. Julia paused. He asked about you. Wanted to know if you consider family counselling. I laughed, but there was no humour in it. A little late for that. Later that night, after everyone left, I sat on my balcony with Jameson, watching the city lights. My phone buzzed one last time. A group text from my mother to the entire family. Since some people are determined to tear this family apart with lies and accusations, I want everyone to know the truth. Everything I did, everything we did, was to protect this family. If Ingrid can't understand a mother's love, that's her choice. But I won't apologise for protecting my children. I showed it to Jameson, then deleted it without responding. Below, the city hummed with life, with possibilities, with futures untethered from toxic pasts. You know what's funny? I said, leaning into him. They really think they lost everything because I exposed the truth. But I lost everything first, my savings, my chance at motherhood, my trust. The difference is I'm building something new. They're just trying to rebuild their lies. He kissed my temple. So what now? I thought about Dr. Peters' words, about small chances and new beginnings, about truth and consequences and the cost of both. Now? I smiled, really smiled, for the first time in months. Now I live my life, without their lies weighing me down, without their drama, without their version of family. Sounds perfect, he said. And sitting there, planning a future that was entirely my own, it finally did.